What's up guys, it's Vultureness, and today we are going to be doing a guide on none other than one of the most strong released gods in the game. In Smite's history, it was very dominant in previous seasons, but not getting so much love now. Today we're going to be doing Bellona, so let's just hop right into it. Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about Bellona. Bellona is one of my favorite warriors in the game. What she excels at is getting into the back line and just wreaking havoc, especially on auto attack gods, whether that be magic or physical. Preferably, either or is honestly fine. But her kit is really well designed in that way that you're able to get into the back line and just really give auto attackers a run for their money. Her passive is called Master of War. So anytime she is dealing auto attacks or she is taking hits from basic attacks, she gains protections and movement speed, and she gets 5 stacks at max. Each stack gives 5 protections and 3% movement speed. So at max of 5 stacks, you're looking at a Bellona who immediately gains 25 protections and 15% movement speed, which is fantastic. It is indicated by this little target on the left. Each spike is one of her passive ticks. As you can see, she goes really fast, and that little red icon indicates the timer on that. This means that early on at level 1, if you think that you got it, I'd recommend trying to box people, as you're going to have more protections and movement speed than them. If they overcommit and mess up, they're going to have a hard time getting away because you're faster. And if you guys are in a good boxing fight, you should be out trading because you have more procs than they do. Her one is called Shield Dash. It dashes in a cone, as you can see in front of me. And anybody hit by this is hit with a slow. At max percent, it's a 35% slow, and the slow lasts for 2 seconds. When she does this, she gains a block stack for each person hit, up to a maximum of 3. The way that block stacks work, if you're unfamiliar, is that if you would be hit by an auto attack, instead it consumes a block stack and you take no damage from it at all. She can only stack this up to 3 times. And she also can gain a stack by hitting 3 autos while she's in this form. She remains in that form for 5 seconds as long as she is being attacked or attacking something. So I only have 1 minion in my range. I hit it for 1, so I have 1 stack there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, it procs a stack every time. An added bonus to her block stacks is that when it consumes a block stack from this ability, what it actually does is actually reflects 30% of the damage that she would have taken. So you get to reflect that damage back at an auto attacker who's trying to hit you. So in a sense, it's like a thorn built into her own kit, which is really nice. Her second ability, I recommend maxing this ability last, by the way, because it's more so for that late game team fight, and it's more so, you're using the passive and the slow off of it. But you want to be focused on your clear early game. You want to have pressure with Bellona in the early game. Bellona's second ability is Bludgeon. Bludgeon is fantastic. As you can see, it's a circle ring around me. This is her clear ability. You go from left to right. You swing around the whole circle, so all 360. And you come at the end with an overhead slam. This ability does massive damage, does great damage on the spin, great damage on the slam, and it scales pretty well. But the added bonus to this ability is that if you hit additional, like for each enemy god you hit, it gains 25% more damage. So if you hit one god with this, the overhead hits for 326. This will scale up per enemy god hit on the other team to where it can be, quite ridiculous. 586, a huge leap. This is considering I have no items, no scaling to really consider here, but the slam damage is huge. Afterwards though, all of her auto attacks are now in this cleave, so you're able to essentially hit the whole wave without having to focus on any one individual piece of the wave. And as you can see, those autos slap. That's not just the audio. Once you're in game, you'll feel it for yourself. This ability also decreases in cooldown as you put points into it, which is why you're going to want to max this ability first. Her Bludgeon is her key clear, so you want to focus on it. If you get interrupted in it, you should just focus on making sure that you're hitting as many minions as possible with your 2 stance, to make up for the fact that you didn't get to land the overhead swing because maybe you were stunned or knocked up. That also lasts for 5 seconds as far as that form, as long as you're dealing or taking damage. The last ability is going to be called Scourge. You're going to max this ability up second. Outside of the ultimate is what you're going to be maxing the most. Scourge is a line ability. It's fantastic. It hits pretty hard. It's great for securing objectives. So your blue buff, or if you're invading, securing the enemy blue buff is huge. This ability once again puts you in a mode where you're using the new weapon that she has out of this ability. And with it, every 3 auto attacks, instead of getting a block stack, you get a burst of healing. So having a lot of attack speed or significant attack speed on Bellona is going to be key to her kit, and you're going to want to itemize in that way intentionally so that you can make the most out of the passives built into her ability and clear out the wave faster with her bludgeon. This ability, outside of just the healing that it gives, is also fantastic because it is a disarm, and the disarm is 2.2 seconds. By disarming somebody, they cannot auto attack you back. So once again, heavily aimed at hitting the auto attackers. And as an added kicker, this Scourge also allows you to have +4 range on your basic attacks. So you can hit your basics from further away than normal, which is really important because it allows you to kind of play footsies with your opponent, and it makes sure that you're able to hit your autos as best as possible. It's fantastic. The last ability here is going to be your Eagle's Rally. She plants her flag. So what this is realistically is a CC immune leap. When she lands on the inner circle, those are the targets that will be stunned. The outer circle plus the inner circle is what receives the buff from the flag. That's the flag's buff radius. The buff that it applies is going to be 35 protections both ways at max rank, 50 physical power, so it only will help out your physical damage dealers, but it's really good when like you and your assassin, your support are jumping onto like the enemy. You're gonna make your assassin do even more damage than they're expecting to do, which is huge. And as you put points into it, it increases the power, the procs, the damage it does, and the flag duration, which is also kind of important as well. So this is great. You're able to land on people, Roman and Victor, and just smack them up. And you're gonna be hitting harder than you typically would be, right? 714. Remember earlier it was like 586. No scaling, no abilities right now. That is how she works. Let's get into the build really quickly. As far as the build goes for Bellona, you're going to want to be focused on getting things that, one, takes advantage of her ability to, resolve 3 auto attacks and get added bonus effects. You're also going to want to build damage because you want to have pressure in lane. You want to take advantage of Bellona's early game abilities. She is more suited for the early game than she is the late game, but we will get items that's going to help her kind of tough it out as we get to the later stages of the game. So to start out with, you want to be winning your laning phase. So you're gonna go healing chalice plus health pots. Yes, I am aware that you cannot stack these. So if you pop one of these, it's gonna just reset the 1 health pot, and you're gonna neg 1 health pot. You want to keep yourself topped off with your chalice, and then use these last toward the end. And you're gonna want to take advantage of that to, do the best that you can inside of the fight. From there, I would recommend getting attack speed boots, overpower boots, as you want to be getting some attack speed in your kit wherever you can, just to make sure that you are taking advantage of Bellona's abilities, which need that attack speed. From there, I recommend bullying your opponent. Getting Gladiator Shield here is going to let you hit your opponent harder when they're lower on health, which makes them fighting into you just that more dangerous, because you have to consider her bludgeon is already scaling 25 every time it hits somebody. And then that overhead hit is going to be smacking. You still get the procs, you still get the effective health, which is going to help you scale into the late game. And then you get 10% cooldown reduction, meaning your abilities are up more often. Everything about this item screams Bellona, as you're able to really put some hurt on your opponent. You could opt to a void shield, but I prefer the Gladiator Shield just being, as aggressive as possible. From there, I would go Berserker Shield. You're probably still not moving out of the laning phase too much. This item is going to give you 20% attack speed, which is important The 10% physical penetration is going to go a long way to resolving more damage, and the procs that you get is also going to help you as well. But once you get low, you get to attack faster and you get to hit harder, gaining more power and gaining more attack speed. Just doing more of what Bellona does. This is your insurance policy. When they're down, you're hitting harder. When you're down, you're hitting harder. It just really couples each other really well, and you get to be really aggressive, building damage and getting a little bit of pin and attack speed in there as well along the way. From there, you're going to be rotating from here on out. You're going to either go Shogun's Kunasari, or you're going to build something situational for magic. This is going to be your Pestilence, if they got healers on their team and stuff like that, because the effective protection and health is just so good as a combo. Or, once again, the Shogun's Kunasari is going to give you some crowd control reduction, give you cooldown reduction, magic protection, and it gives you more passive attack speed for you and your teammates. From there, you just want to make sure that you're scaling into the end of the game well. Oni Hunter's Garb is going to be a good item for that. It's going to let you gain 3% damage mitigation per enemy god around you. So you're just going to be doing fantastic work at that time. The last item I recommend is rounding out your build at this point. Is going to be this Frostbound Hammer. It's going to give you 300 health, and it's going to help you stick and lock down targets, which is going to be huge. With this in mind, your opponent's going to have a tough time escaping because you jump into the back line, right? We're going to take this guy for an example. You're going to jump into the back line, 35% slow, and you auto them, and they're hardly walking, meaning that your teammates can jump on this person and you can just keep it moving. This is my preferred build with him, with Bellona, with her, and that's honestly just the general build that I would go with her. You can go ahead and sell out this item and build whatever you're needing here. Wing Blade if you're being slow, trying to get into the back line. Maybe you're getting crowd controlled. Maybe you're trying to round out your build a little bit more. Mental Discord would be good for the passive it has that stuns. But this is overall what I would recommend if you're going to play Bellona. So I appreciate you checking out the guide and hope you enjoy the gameplay. See ya.